This is going to be a very factual video. I'm going to go through what I do during the day, before I go to bed, what I do if I wake up in the night, and what I do after waking up. Yes, your morning routine is extremely important for your sleep. I'll explain later in the video. And at the end, I'm going to show you a few unknown benefits of getting good sleep, which might actually surprise you during the day. What you do during the day actually has a massive effect on how well you sleep. So doing things like eating healthy, getting sunlight and exercising, they'll have a really good impact on your sleep. I'll go into more detail on them now. So exercise. Make sure that you're tired. Make sure that you have worked hard during the day so that you deserve your sleep. Make sure that you've used enough energy so that you can recharge when you go to sleep. Going outside. When you go outside, you get sunlight. And when your eyes see sunlight, they know it's daytime. This really helps to wake you up, and it really helps to set your sleep schedule in. Going outside is also good for your mental health. It's good for your productivity. It's good for your physical health. It's good for so many things as well. Eating healthily. If your diet is good, then everything else in your life is going to get a benefit from that, including sleep. Eating healthy also has plenty of other benefits like good physical health, like losing fat, building muscle, all of that. And being productive during the day also helps you get really good sleep. Because if you're mentally tired, if you're tired throughout the day, if you've worked hard and you want to go to sleep, that means you deserve the sleep. Think about sleep as a reward. You have to work during the day to get good sleep. To get the good reward, you work during the day. Generally, just leading a healthy lifestyle, exercising, going outside and eating well, you will get much better sleep by doing all of that compared to if you spend all day indoors video gaming and eating junk food. Next part of the video, before sleep. Now, having a bedtime routine is vital to get good sleep. Because when you do some things in a certain order, that kind of activates a response in your brain. So for me, it might be having a hot shower, getting my pajamas on and then meditating in bed. Let's say that's my routine. If I do all three of those things in order, then my brain's gonna know, all right, I've done those things in order, what do I do next? After meditating, I'll sleep. It sets it in your brain. So having a routine, it allows you to get to sleep better, and you get much better sleep. It also helps you stay consistent with things like journaling or meditating, which might be quite hard to do at first. Now here are some things that you could do in your bedtime routine to help you to get better sleep. The first one is a hot shower. Now the logic behind this is kind of backwards, but I'll do my best to explain this. I got this from Andrew Huberman. Now, for you to go into a really deep sleep when you get your best physical and mental recovery, your body temperature needs to drop by about 2 to 3 degrees. Now, if you just go to bed normally, then it might take 30 minutes or an hour for your body to drop those 2 to 3 degrees so that you can get into that deep sleep. And obviously that's normal and that's okay and stuff, but what if you could make that better by having a hot shower? Now you might think, oh yeah, but a hot shower is hot, so it's gonna raise your body temperature and make it even longer for you to get into that deep sleep. But what if I told you you were wrong about that? A hot shower actually decreases your body temperature. I told you the logic on this one was backwards. But essentially what happens is you go in the hot shower, and yes, your body temperature does raise when you go in the hot shower, but when you get out the shower, your body is forced to cool itself down because it's just been heated up by the hot shower. And it actually cools itself down past the temperature you're at when you went in the shower, which means your body will cool yourself down even more, which means your body temperature will go down, which means you'll get into the deep sleep even faster, meaning a better sleep. It speeds up the cooling down process. Now, as with anything, test it for yourself. I've tested it myself and I found out about 5 minutes worked best for me. But for you, 10 minutes might work best. For most people, 5 minutes is the general rule, so I'd say start at 5 minutes, play around with it, see what works best for you. Another thing you can do is journal. Journaling, you can just write anything that's on your mind, you can write anything that's worrying you. Journaling sort of you know when you tell someone about your problems, and even if they don't care, it's good to have someone to listen to and speak about your problems, and you sort of resolve your problems when you talk about them to someone. Well, journaling's sort of the same. When you journal, it's sort of telling someone about your problems. So if you just write about your day, it's literally just having someone listen to you. It's so good for your mental health. It stops your worrying and your anxiousness instantly, basically, as soon as you do it. You can also reflect on what you did today. Write down the good and bad things that you did. Write down how you can improve tomorrow. Acknowledge the good things and mentally reward yourself for that. And also acknowledge the bad things and then think about how you can improve yourself tomorrow. And this is also similar to journaling as well, but writing a to-do list. Writing a to-do list has been scientifically proven to improve your sleep. Taking 30 seconds before you go to bed to write a to-do list will significantly increase your sleep quality. The next thing is meditating. Meditating, it calms your mind, it helps you relax. Again, meditating before sleep has been scientifically proven to improve your sleep. It simply just lets your mind relax, you clear all thoughts from your mind, it stops worrying. It sort of sets you into the sleep mode almost. And if you've meditated just before you go to bed, then you're really just like relaxed. And it's so easy to just like drift away into sleep. And you get really good sleep when you meditate. Meditation is also great for like productivity and your mental health, because nowadays everyone's like scrolling on their phones and everything. And that just ruins your attention span, which ruins your productivity, which means you're gonna do worse in school, you're gonna do worse in your work, you're gonna do worse in your YouTube channel. And meditation, that's kind of like the cure for all this scrolling that you've done. Because having no thoughts in your mind and just being alone, thinking of nothing, it's the polar opposite of all this dopamine and the scrolling thing. So it's sort of like the cure, as I said, for all this scrolling and all this dopamine and everything. Actionable step right now, download the Medito app. It's like the best app for meditation. The thing with meditation is don't just stop after a week because you don't see benefits, because with meditation, the benefits take ages to come in. I've been meditating for like 6 months now probably. I haven't seen any benefits, but I mean, I still do it because I've been told and I believe that it will give me really good benefits in the future. If you want better sleep, just spend 3 minutes meditating before you go to bed. Another really good thing before bed is reading. Now, your parents probably said when you were younger, like, oh, reading is really good for your sleep. And like, you might have listened to them. Like when I was younger, I'd read all the time before bed. Reading before bed, again, like everything in this guide, is really good for your sleep. It relaxes you. And also reading, it's good for your productivity again. It resets your like dopamine attention span and everything. I'm not too sure about the scientific evidence for this one, I haven't really looked into it. But from my personal experience and from millions, billions, probably billions of people's experiences, reading is good for your sleep. And this might be a bit controversial, but I actually think reading on a phone or a Kindle is better than reading an actual physical book. Because at night, if you're reading an actual physical book, you have to have a light on, and that light's going to be brighter than the actual phone or Kindle. I'll go into this in a minute, but bright lights are actually really, really bad for your sleep. Like if you're viewing bright lights before you go to sleep, it like wakes you up so much. So you want to avoid bright lights, but let me go back to the reading now. If you're reading a physical book, yeah, you have to have like a bright light on to see the pages, yeah? The pages don't glow up at you like a phone or a Kindle. But with a phone or a Kindle, you put it into dark mode, you put the like blue light filter on, you put it into like black and white mode, so it's like the page is like black and the letters are white. And if you do all that, that's probably actually like dimmer, it's probably less bright than if you had a big bright light on looking at a book. And so I think that's actually going to be better for your sleep. But I mean, try it out for yourself. I'm not saying this will work. It works best for me reading on my phone than an actual book. But I mean, for someone else, it might work better reading with a book. I don't know. This is what works for me. I'm just saying to try both, see what works better for you. Now here's a pretty relatively unknown one. If you're in the self-improvement community, you'll probably already know this, but it is, let me get it, hang on. It is micro pore tape. So essentially what you do is, if I can get it. So what you do, you get the tape, you just get a little bit like this. You tape your mouth shut. Now this has been scientifically proven too, because like when your mouth is taped shut, you can't breathe through your mouth. And like naturally humans are supposed to breathe through our nose, but like what's happened through evolution and everything is all these soft foods we're eating now, our jaw like isn't as stronger, so we naturally when you go to sleep you breathe through your mouth, which is actually a lot unhealthier than breathing through your nose like you're supposed to. So if you get this tape and like you tape it on your mouth here, it forces you to breathe through your nose. And this is not only good for sleep, apparently I haven't seen any results, but apparently it's good for your jawline. Apparently it's also good for your like your VO2 max. So like if you do a lot of like cardio, like intense cardio, it helps you to breathe more. It literally makes your lungs stronger so that you can breathe more during cardio. I saw instant benefits after using this. Like the night after using this, I woke up and I felt amazing. Right, now we're gonna go into the don'ts of what to do before bedtime. Don't look at bright lights, avoid bright lights. I'll go into the logic behind this now. When your eyes see a bright light, it thinks it must be the sun, because imagine you're a caveman, the only bright lights you're gonna see are like fire and the sun, yeah? So your eyes see a bright light and it thinks it's the sun, yeah? And if it thinks it's the sun, it's gonna think it's daytime because the sun's out during daytime. And when your body thinks it's daytime, it's gonna wake itself up. So literally, just looking at a bright light will make your body think it's daytime, and that will wake you up. And this includes like overhead lights, it includes like phone and laptop screens and monitor screens, it includes lamps, it includes every light. Every light at night will wake you up and be a detriment to your sleep. Another don't exercise near bedtime. Essentially what this does, imagine like you're a caveman. If you're exercising, you're going to be hunting something or like being chased by a predator. So if you're exercising, and you're being chased by a predator, then you're not going to like want to start falling asleep, are you? So when you're exercising, it's going to wake you up loads. And like obviously if you just exercise and you go into bed, like you might feel tired, physically tired if you just had a big workout and then gone straight into bed. Like I used to do that. But it actually wakes you up like mentally loads, and you'll find it really hard to get to sleep. And if you do get to sleep, then you'll have a really bad night's sleep that night. It also increases your body temperature while exercising. And as I said before, you want your body temperature to decrease. So exercising near bedtime, it'll increase your body temperature. And then when you go to sleep, your body temperature will be raised, and you'll have to it'll take ages to get to sleep because your body temperature will need to decrease. I'd say give it an hour. Don't exercise in the hour before you go to sleep. I think that's a good enough time, but I mean, you can test it with yourself like everything. Here's a pretty obvious one. Don't eat near bedtime. When you eat, you have to digest the food. Think about that. When you eat, it's not just you eat and then it's done. You eat and then you digest the food, and then you need to like poop it out, yeah? So if you eat near bedtime, then your body's going to be like digesting the food while you're sleeping. And let me just say this, your body can't do anything well while you're digesting food. It can't exercise well, it can't work well, and it can't sleep well while you're digesting food. This is another like obvious one that your parents probably told you, but again, I'm just reminding you here because you might not do it and you might have forgotten about it. Now also when you're going to bed, you're going to want to go to sleep at the same time every night. Now this is vital. If you were to only do like one thing in this whole guide, I'll tell you to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Having a routine, a sleep schedule, is the best way to get better sleep. So I usually go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. every night, and usually wake up around 5 to 6 to 7 every morning, depending on how tired I feel. And this includes weekends too. Your body, your mind, it doesn't have weekends built into it. Weekends are just like a man-made thing. Like our natural bodies, they don't have weekends built into them. So then why should your sleep have a weekend? This is how you get good sleep, a consistent sleep schedule. This one easy thing. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, doing this one thing will massively increase your sleep quality. You'll be much more productive, you'll have better mental health, you'll have better gains in the gym just by doing this, so just do it! The next part of the video, during the night. A few tips here. Have your blinds and curtains closed, keep it as dark in your room as possible. If the sun rises before you wake up, your eyes are going to see the sunlight through your eyelids, and it's going to be like the bright light thing again. Your eyes are going to see that light through your eyelids, and it's going to wake you up earlier than you'll want to get up. Even if you're not rested properly, it'll still wake you up if you see the light. So keep your blinds and curtains closed. If it's warm enough, then have a window open, let air in. Just having fresh air, it generally improves everything about your life. So having fresh air is also going to improve your sleep. So if it's warm enough, have a window open. From what I've heard, having an eye mask and earplugs, that's also good for your sleep. I haven't actually ever tried them, I haven't used them. That's something I should probably try. But if you can, try sleep with an eye mask, try sleep with the earplugs in. From what I've heard, it improves your sleep quality, so I just decided to include it here. And if you have something that you can track your sleep with, like a watch, I've got a Samsung smartwatch, then use that, because then you can track your sleep between nights. If you don't have a fancy watch, don't worry, you don't need to blow all your money away on it. Literally just download this another app called the Sleep Cycle app on your phone. Then it'll give you instructions. I think you just I've never used it, but I think you put your phone near your bed and it uses audio and stuff to track your sleep, and apparently it's actually pretty good. So you can use the Sleep Cycle app to track your sleep with your phone for free. The next part of the video is about waking up. Now, like I said before, going to bed and waking up at the same time is vital, so obviously wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Find out how much sleep is best for you. I usually operate best with around 8 to 9 hours in bed, but test it for yourself. So test it for yourself, find out how many hours is best for you. And when you wake up, get up straight away. I kind of stole this one from my friend Abe, but I've started doing it and it really helps with your energy and waking you up. And when you get out of bed in the first 5 seconds after waking up, it's quite hard to do. but eventually it gets into a habit, and you'll wake up, and you'll be like, oh, I'm awake, and then you'll just like jump out of bed almost. If you just start like forcing yourself to get out of bed, make it a focus to get out of bed as soon as you wake up, and eventually you start being able to get out of bed like as soon as you wake up. Like I can do that now. Make your bed. I know a lot of people tell you this and you might still not do it, but making your bed really helps your sleep. Also, having a tidy room equals more productive. This isn't related to sleep, but just having a tidy bed will make you more productive. And it's simple discipline. Another thing you should do after waking up is getting sunlight. The theory behind this is it's logic as well. It's sort of similar to the bright lights one. When you wake up, you want to get as much light in as possible, preferably sunlight. I mean, artificial lights, they kind of work, but if you can get sunlight in, then your eyes are going to see the sun and your body is going to know it's daytime. It's going to wake you up. It's going to set your sleep schedule in. You're going to get energy throughout the day because you know it's daytime. Another vital thing you should do after waking up is simply just to drink water. After waking up, you've probably just gone 8 hours without drinking anything. You are going to be dehydrated. There's no argument behind this. If you haven't drank any water for 8 hours while sleeping, you are going to be dehydrated. So when you wake up, maybe what I do is I open my window, I look at the sun, or not at the sun, but I get sunlight into my eyes, and I just sit there sipping my water, hydrating myself and getting sunlight in at the same time. Water, obviously, it makes you more productive. You don't want to be dehydrated. It wakes you up. It's just good for everything. And now another thing related to the body temperature is the cold shower. Because when you're asleep, your body temperature drops. So when you wake up, you want to rise your body temperature again. Now, the logic is backwards on this one again. Having a cold shower warms your body up because you go in the shower and your body gets cooled down by the cold water. Then you get out the shower and your body's forced to warm yourself up again. Now, another tip about cold showers. When you get out the shower, don't actually dry yourself straight away. What I found is actually better, and I think Andrew Tuberman actually said this as well, is to just stand there outside the shower with the cold water on you. Because if you're getting the towel and you're drying yourself, that's gonna warm you up, and it's also gonna get the cold water off you, which means your body's not gonna warm yourself up, which means you're still gonna be quite cold. Whereas if you just stand there with the cold water on you, your body's gonna warm yourself up and then you dry off after you've warmed up. Cold showers is actually really good for building muscle and stuff. It's good for muscle recovery if you've had a really bad workout the day before. Something else you can do is some light exercise. You might see I've got a big bench press. You don't need that to do exercise. You can literally just do push-ups, you can do leg raises, you can do crunches, you can do squats. Because again, this raises your body temperature, it wakes you up, exercise wakes you up like I said, and it just gets you ready for the day. You get a lot more energy. You don't even need to do 5 minutes, 2 minutes will work. Doing 10, 15, 20 push-ups, that's good enough. Right, if this guide helped you, then I'm gonna ask you to like, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe, I'm gonna ask you to comment in the video, and I'm actually gonna also ask you for some feedback on this. So please comment your feedback if you've watched the whole video in the comments. And yeah, goodbye.